Hi, this is Denise Ortiz of MindBodyHealing.biz. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you've been enjoying all of the podcasts that I've been making available since last year, hoping to get a lot of information out to a lot of people, especially during these crazy times that we're going through. We all feel the shift, we feel the change of energy, and sometimes we're not sure how to act or react. Where can we get information? How can we get help? So I have put out this podcast in an effort to help as many people as we can in as many different ways as possible. So if you'd like to help me on this mission, if you're enjoying what you see, please subscribe to the channel. It is on YouTube and on Spotify. So you have two different ways to watch. And remember to like and comment if you like what you see. The more you like and comment, the more we gain visibility on the internet and the more people we can help. So I'd ask for your support, and I do thank all of those who watch this program regularly and give us the wonderful support that just keeps me going to keep others happy, healthy, and get through these times. And speaking of getting through these times, what about the celestial skies and the astral vibes for 2025? Now, in the beginning of the year, we had everything that you needed to know to get you through January through June. And now we're going to take a quick glance back at July and bring you up until December with my friend, Vesta Millard. And she'll be talking about all the wonderful astrology things that you need to know. Vesta.
Thank you so much, Denise. I think what you're doing is amazing. It gives metaphysicians and magical people a platform. And it also gives a lot of information. So just dip a toe in. If you've ever wanted to know more about any one particular subject that affects metaphysicians, metaphysical people everywhere, this is a wonderful platform. And best of all, it's a non-judgmental platform where everyone is welcome. So let's take a second half of 2025, and I'm going to give you an overview of the next few months or so. What makes 2025 so amazing and so extraordinary is the fact that all the outer planets have changed signs, all in this one year. What's extraordinary about that is that all of their orbits are different. So what are the odds that we'd have every single outer planet change signs all in one year? Pluto went into Aquarius in November of 2024. Neptune went into Aries March 30th and is now in retrograde. Saturn is also in Aries, and he went back to Aries May 25th. Jupiter, the Santa Claus of planets, the great benefic, went into Cancer June 9th, and Uranus most recently went into Gemini July 7th. Now, Uranus will be shaking up how we communicate and express ourselves because Gemini is the sign of communication. Also, Uranus is fast and sudden and unexpected, so there may be some shocking news stories covering unexpected events, like some of the natural disasters that have been going on. Most recently, that earthquake of 8.8 in the ocean. I mean, that is something that never happens. Now, something to keep in mind, Uranus will not change signs again until the year 2033. So just buckle up, Buttercup. And today, July 31st, we have something amazing going on, and I never get to talk about it because it's kind of a rare celestial event. We're going to have a Cazimi.
I'm sorry, what is a Cazimi?
I know it sounds like an Italian appetizer. I'll have the Cazimi, please, with red sauce.
Yeah.
It does. But I have never gotten to explain a Cazimi. It's actually rather simple. It's a complicated name for something that's very simple. It's when a planet comes within 1 degree of the sun. And this is actually a really good thing. Obviously, it can only happen with the planets that are closest to the sun, not the outer planets, but just with Venus and Mercury. So today, Mercury comes into the heart of the sun. So today promises blessings and bright skies, and Mercury is, in effect, conjunct to the sun. So that means it's really, really close. So listen to your intuition, open up your heart. Whoever that you will speak out to, they will hear you on a whole new wavelength, literally. And there will be no shortage of opportunities that will be coming to your door. That's good because it balances out the Libra moon that we're in right now. That's in opposition to Chiron. Chiron is the asteroid, the wounded healer. So give yourself some extra nurturing, as this is only temporary. And of course, this too, like everything else in astrology, will pass. Coming into August, which is right around the corner at this point, August 6th, we have Mars entering Libra, creating a cardinal T-square. Now, a T-square is when two planets oppose one another, squaring a third. Now, those two planets in opposition, I want you to go back to basic geometry and picture a right-angled triangle, a 90-degree right side triangle. The two planets in opposition would be at A and B, that kitty corner line that I think they used to call it the hypotenuse. That is the opposition. And then planet C would be in the shorter side of that triangle. So once again, Mars is entering Libra, creating a cardinal T-square. Mars in Libra opposes Saturn and Neptune in Aries, and they'll square Jupiter and Venus in Cancer. Well, it sounds like an awful lot, doesn't it? Are you taking notes? Did you get all of that?
This is a lot, but it's great information. Keep going.
You may feel out of balance, and Cancer, of course, anything that impacts the sign of Cancer could lead to a very emotional and sensitive feeling. So just get those handkerchiefs ready. August 9th, we have the Aquarius full moon. That stimulates Pluto. So Pluto is all about power. The negative side of that is power struggles and aggression. So try to keep yourself in check. Try not to get too angry or frustrated. August 11th, Mercury finally comes out of retrograde. Yay! So all communication will be better. We'll get back on track. We'll be getting our snail mails again. I've had 2 packages get lost under Mercury retrograde, so it's not fun. But it's coming out of retrograde August the 11th. Also, we have Saturn forming a harmonious angle to unconventional Uranus. Embrace both the traditional and the new. You can be responsible for your own independence. Now, what does that mean? Well, don't hibernate. Don't close yourself off. And I think that's a natural reaction with all of this energy. We don't want to socialize. We don't want to go out there. I'm just going to sit on the couch and watch TV and veg. Not always the best approach to life in general. Good for small, little durations of time, but not for a whole day or a whole week. So just watch out for that. August 22nd, we have the sun changing signs moving into Virgo. Virgos are so organized. Virgos and Capricorns, they're 2 earth signs that really make the world go around. They keep lists. They're very focused, and they love to be regimented and follow rules. So we need more of that in our society. And again, everything in balance. This is just all about energy and how we react or don't react to it.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you something as we come along to these eclipses. What is the difference between the solar and the lunar eclipse when we're talking about the astrology that's going on?
Sure. A solar eclipse occurs only at the new moon, and that is the moon passing between the Earth and the sun. So it sheds a light onto what has not been shown before. A lunar eclipse only occurs at a full moon, and that's when the moon passes through the Earth's shadow. Now, lunar eclipses are much more emotional, and they can trigger revelations or endings. So hopefully, it's just a different feel. If you're a magical, metaphysical person, it's a totally different feel between a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse. Again, solar eclipses are more about outside, everywhere, everything. And the lunar eclipse takes us more inside ourselves and becomes more introspective, almost at times introverted. But the lunar aspect is the mother goddess. So that's the feminine energy. The solar aspect is the male energy.
Right. And also, how long after these eclipses, either before and after, does it really affect us?
Well, we go with the 3-day rule in this case. If you're charging your crystals under the full moon, then you know this rule probably. It's the night before, the night of, and the night after. So it's actually a 3-day bubble that you can, create what you need to, petition divinity, cast a spell, say your prayers, whatever modality that you embrace. At a full moon, you're going to get all that powerful energy. And a new moon or a dark moon is time to reset, readdress, refocus, much like we would do in a Mercury retrograde.
Great. That's great. So now let's move on to September.
Well, September, we're going to be pretty busy because we start off on September 6th with Uranus, the planet of the unexpected, which moves backwards into Taurus. And Taurus being an earth sign, this kind of muddies things up a little bit. You might feel like you're getting stuck or experience a change you don't want. September 7th, we have that total lunar eclipse. So you called it, Denise. This is going to make us feel very emotional. It takes place in the sign of Pisces. Now, I love the sign of Pisces. If you're born under the sign of the duality, the fish, one swimming upstream and one swimming downstream, it is called the psychic sign. So even if you don't think you're very psychic, because you're born under the sign of Pisces, your intuition will be incredibly sharp. And for the rest of us, this will open channels of communication as the veil thins. This throws energy into endings. You may feel that something is fated in a way. So be open to destiny. Be open to letting yourself go and enjoy. September 13th, the sun gets close to Mercury, which allows you to get productive and bring a project to culmination. We love that. A good ending for a change. September 21st, we have a partial solar eclipse in Virgo. So again, this is that masculine energy having to do with the sun. It may bring opportunities your way and help you to make improvements in your life. And we should all be trying to do that. We change signs and we enter into Libra on the 22nd. Moving into October, October 1st, we have a square between Mercury and Jupiter. Again, Mercury is the planet of communication. So big ideas may have to be tabled. We might be losing our focus a little bit, or maybe we become easily distracted. October 6th, Mercury enters Scorpio. Now, we know that Scorpio and Scorpions are very intense. That's that kind of heavy energy. You might become obsessed about something. And again, that's the shadow side of Scorpio. We have an Aries full moon, and that means take action. Aries is a fire sign. So with this fiery energy, you can accomplish much. Fire is always spurring our creativity. So that might be another great time to start a new project because you'll be so stimulated with all of this going on. October 10th, we have Moon and Uranus getting cozy in Gemini. Again, that's the sign of communication. So a sudden development may happen when you least expect it. Hopefully something good. If not, do your best to turn this into a positive outcome. October 13th, we have social Venus entering Libra. Libra is the sign of relationships. That's a party-hardy sign. Ruled by Venus, Librans love to get out there and get connections. And you may find everything easier, an easier way to express yourself both with your partner and your coworkers. Unfortunately, we have Pluto, which has been in retrograde affecting this, but Pluto is coming out of retrograde and going direct, as we say, moving forward. So there will be less power struggles and more embracing of individual energies. You can focus on the future here. And October 15th, we have Mars coming into Scorpio. Mars is energy. Mars is drive. Mars is ambition. Unfortunately, it will be forming a tense angle to the moon in Leo. So watch your tongue, watch your temper. We don't want frustrations to begin to bubble over, so just keep that in mind. October 22nd, we have Neptune entering Pisces, which puts a major focus on the spiritual. As I said before, Pisces is a very psychic sign. So when you have Neptune, its ruler, coming into Pisces, that means all channels of communication will be open. The veil will be thin. If you are a medium, if you like to channel, if you do automatic writing, this is a wonderful time to focus on this because your intuition will be sharp. And lastly, for October, we have the sun entering Scorpio, triggering intense passion, turning inward, and it's all about the empowerment of self.
Wow, that's interesting. It seems like we have two opportunities coming up where the veil is thinning. to help us through a lot of things and to realize things. And as you said, some people don't think that they're psychic, but we do all have that basic intuition if we will just let it flow through us and open to it. And especially at these times, it makes it a little easier for us to do. Wouldn't that be true?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think psychics, or if you're using divination, such as a pendulum or tarot cards, it will come more easily. It will flow through you. You'll feel the energy. All you just have to do is tune in. It's like a radio dial. We all have that capacity to go up and down the dial, but in some positions, we're going to get static. In other positions, we may have overlapping channels, and you'll be hearing a multitude of voices. But if you tune in at just the right frequency, everything will be clear and transparent. So it helps us to get that inspiration from the other side. It helps us to make decisions in a more clarified way. There's a good way of putting it. See, even I
Yeah.
have to think of that adjective. But when the planets align with the right houses, the right positions, and the right energy, it really helps everyone. And it's beneficial if you can tap into that.
Yeah, that's great. Now, as we move into November, there's something that interests me very much because I am on the cusp of Scorpio, which ends on the 22nd of November, and then the Sagittarian side, which I love so much better, that starts on the 23rd. So, what happens when you are born on the cusp? What can you tell us about that?
I love people that are born under a cusp, and it means that you're taking the best qualities of two different signs and combining them. And quite often, because this is the way the universe set it up for us, there's a wonderful balance and exchange. Now, if you don't mind, I'll give you a quick little analysis, Denise,
Great, go right ahead.
of the two signs that you gave me. First of all, in astrology, it's not just 1 or 2 days. If I'm doing your chart, I'm going to give it a whole week. So it's not just on the 22nd or 21st of every month. We can go out to the 30th of the month, or going backwards maybe to the 15th, and you still are feeling that cusp energy. Now, in Denise's case, this is a wonderful blend of that intense, powerful Scorpio ruled by Pluto combining with Sagittarius. Sagittarians are happy-go-lucky. They're lively people. They love to travel. They love the outdoors. In particular, and this is kind of interesting, they love horses because Sagittarius is the sign of the centaur. So it's actually half man, half horse. So they just have a natural proclivity to nature and animals, the outdoors, and horses. And it balances out that intense, very inward turning Scorpio. And that's not to say that Scorpios are bad people, not at all. There's a saying about scorpions: they make the best friends and the worst enemies. So you want a Scorpio on your side. And I have several friends that are Scorpio women, and they are marvelous. They're wonderful people. They're generous. They would go to the mat for you and back. And that's the kind of friendship you want. I find
Exactly, exactly. So, talking about alignments, what will be aligning for us in the month of November?
November 4th, we have Mars entering Sagittarius. So again, that's a really good fit. Mars is the planet of energy and drive and ambition, and Sagittarius doesn't hold any grudges. So you're going to be expanded. You're going to need to explore, travel, pursue new opportunities. And they have these great tours through the computer that you can take in other countries, and they will walk you down special streets and highways and byways. Or maybe you'd want to take a new language. Take a class in something you've always wanted to study but never had a chance to. November 7th, we have Uranus coming back into Taurus, where it's been for years. This means improve stability and security, revisit old projects, and finish them. November 9th, Mercury begins its last retrograde, and that'll be in Sagittarius, stirring up old ideas, maybe friends from your past or lovers from past relationships will reach out. You'll be revisiting people or favorite places. November 11th, we have Jupiter turning retrograde in Cancer, and we'll be feeling some karma with this, friends. We really will. So pursue something you feel is meant to be. Use the karma in a positive way. November 21st, we change signs. The sun will enter Sagittarius, meaning your life will expand in new ways. So be open to new experiences. Be ready to embrace that, and however you see that in your individual path. November 27th, Saturn goes direct in Pisces. Yes, Saturn is the taskmaster, the rule maker. And when he moves backwards, we tend to feel overwhelmed and stressed about too many things to do and not enough time. Saturn is also the planet of time. So when it goes direct in Pisces, it means any limitations that you felt for the past few months will be lifting. December, we have a full moon in Gemini. That's going to be nice. December 4th. Gemini, again, the sign of communication. So emotions are easily expressed now. You can put your thoughts into words. Think of this time, a lot of us are filling out those Christmas cards, writing letters, or sending those family emails to update everyone, friends and family, as to what you've been doing all year. It'll be a good time for that. December 10th, Neptune goes forward into Pisces. Again, that's that spiritual energy. This will lift your mental fog and any illusions that you've been harboring and allow for a better soul connection, either with yourself or with someone else. So embrace your inner artist. Maybe paint. You don't have to be a Rembrandt. Just do it. You can take the paintbrush and just paint a canvas. Any of your frustrations or interesting inspirations could come out for you then. December 11th, we have Mercury entering Sagittarius, so things will come full circle. It will bring optimism and the light to see the bigger picture. December 15th, we have Mars entering Capricorn. This is also very advantageous. It's the sign of goals, also the sign of the goat. So this placement amps up your ambition. You can put together long-term plans, make your resolutions at this time, plant the seeds for fruition in 2026. December 21st, one of my favorite dates. It's the winter solstice or Yule, and the sun is changing signs, moving into Capricorn. So change your focus, pick your path, seek out what you need to do to make it happen. December 24th, Christmas Eve, Venus will enter Capricorn. Now, this will stabilize your love life, maybe providing a perfect opportunity for a long-term commitment. So maybe there might be a ring under the tree. That might be a wonderful time. Really,
New Year's Eve engagements and Christmas engagements. Yes,
that's
it's a
right.
wonderful time.
So I want to end it out with three little notations that I really made for myself, but I want to share them with you, all the people that tune in to Celestial Skies and Astral Vibes. And I always say a Mercury retrograde allows us to what are the re's? Refocus, reassess, reconfirm, reconform, or in this case, reflect. What's something you've always wanted to learn or try, but were afraid was too out there or too obtuse for you to reach? What would happen if you just gave that a chance? What am I ready to let go of so I can rise higher and raise my vibration? Where am I willing to recommit and show up for fully? And lastly, where am I asked to slow down, to get smarter about my energy? How can I work with what I have? How can I be grateful for my current situation instead of being greedy and pushing for more? And all of this is just meant for you to take a little time out. Give yourself some personal you time, whether it's that bath with candles, or reading a good book, or talking to a friend, or maybe adopting a new animal, or fostering a kitten or dog. There's so many ways that we can give back to society and our community. And in doing so, it will make you feel better and also increase your chances for prosperity and abundance all the way around.
Yeah, that's great advice and great information. There's so much that we can do with the information that we have, but when we open up inside of ourselves to let in and let it into our everyday life, we think sometimes astrology is something out there.
Mm-hmm.
Something that's out there. Maybe some people are thinking, this is the sign information that I read in my newspaper, once a week and see what's going on from there. But it's amazing how many people do want to look to see what is going on in their sign or during that month astrologically. But sometimes it can be very confusing and sometimes it can be extremely simple. So Vesta and I are going to have a podcast coming up shortly about Astrology 101 that will just give the basic information that you need so you can learn about how astrology works for you. Vesta, maybe you can tell them a little bit about what we'll be bringing in that podcast.
Absolutely. There are three components that I think newbie astrologers should learn. And they're basically qualities we ascribe to the zodiac signs, the planets, and the houses. And once you learn that, you can go back to your natal chart and it will seem so much clearer for you. One of the reasons I love astrology is because there is science involved, which is astronomy. In other words, the planetary orbits are science. The qualities or the adjectives we ascribe to them is where the woo-woo comes in, where the metaphysical takes place. But it's really a partnership between the scientific and the more metaphysical aspects. For example, I thought, what if I came up with one word to describe each planet, the planetary energy, and how it would impact us in our natal chart? So I don't know if you want to take them down now or maybe later. I also love alliteration with the same sound because I feel like it's easier to remember that way. And I did it for most of the planets. Yeah, I did for all of the planets. All right. So Mercury, mental Mercury. It's the sign of thought. It's the planet that helps us see where we have to go and what we need to do. Venus, the vixen. Yes, I think most people know that Venus is the planet of love. So we'll keep that in mind. Motivating Mars. Now, remember, I mentioned that Mars is action. Mars is drive. Mars is energy. So motivating Mars. Joyous Jupiter. Jupiter is one of a few planets that we ascribe all these positive things to, like luck, prosperity. Jupiter is called the Santa Claus of the planets. So joyous Jupiter. Serious Saturn. Saturn is about time. Kronos is the god of time, ascribed to Saturn, and Saturn is regimen. So I have Sirius Saturn. Unexpected Uranus. Uranus is lightning fast. It's change that comes when we least expect it. Nebulous Neptune. Nebulous means foggy, unclear, and that would be some of the shadow side of Neptune. And lastly, powerful Pluto. Pluto is about power. Pluto was the lord of the underworld. So we go into our subconscious and see what's hidden there. And that's called doing the work. Sometimes, and Denise and I know this, we've been going through this summer, sometimes you expose the not so nice side of people or experiences, but you're doing the work. You're moving through that energy and allowing yourself to purge and come out a more transformed person. So just to recap, mental Mercury, Venus the vixen, motivating Mars, joyous Jupiter, Sirius Saturn, unexpected Uranus, nebulous Neptune, and powerful Pluto.
Well, I think I'll take a little bit of all of those.
A little dash of each one.
Yeah, especially Mars, I keep remembering, and maybe I'm showing my age, is also a candy bar.
When Mars is in a positive aspect, you grab Mars the candy bar.
Exactly, because it makes me feel very positive and very happy.
And sugar high. It's simple. Don't make things, and you could say this about life, don't make it more complex than it needs to be. You know, sometimes when we simplify things, we can get more done that way and move forward in a more forward direction.
Yes, it's very true. And like I said, as long as we have some of the energy of the stars and the astral vibes coming from the energy from the planets and the astrology, because people forget that there is an energy that is coming through. We are made up of energy. We feel the energy from everything around us. So by getting more in touch with where we're coming from, what type of season we're in with each planet, this Astrology 101 podcast might be for you. So just keep an eye. If you subscribe, you'll see the minute it comes available through your subscription. So just to wrap this up, I want to thank Vesta so very much for being with us today and giving us all this wonderful information. Vesta?
Oh, my pleasure.
And I want to thank all of you that keep tuning into these podcasts, and I will continue to bring you the best information that I can because these are crazy times we're going through. I don't need to describe everything because you know it. It seems to be hitting everywhere around the planet, everywhere from A to Z, you name it, it seems to be happening. But keep in mind, there is something good and wonderful that is coming up from that. As things seem to be falling apart, it's just because they're moving out of the way so what's better can grow and help all of us.
Mhm.
So concentrate more on what is coming, what is better, and what should be, what you'd like to see in the world. They always say, be the change you want to see in the world. This is the time to do it. Start here and just send it out to the world. And if you're not sure, just look up your astrological chart if you can and see when might be a good time to do that. Or just rewatch the program and you'll find out for sure. So again, my name is Denise Ortiz of mindbodyhealing.biz. And I want to thank you very much. And I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye now.